All right, step 5 is really where you're trying out your tag as a whole. So you've got your tag name now, and you've got kind of the letters and throws that you were working with on step 3. So what you're going to do is take one of your throws from step 3, one of your two-dimensional letters, and your tag name from step 4, which is your combined name. Then you are going to do 3 boxes that are all separate. So box number 1 is going to overlap your letters as many times as possible. So one of the things you can kind of look at here, you can just overlap your letters one on top of each other. That's okay. What's even kind of cooler is if you have letters where they're overlapping part and going under part. And this is a little trickier. So I'm gonna try to show you how to do this one. So what you're going to do, you want to overlap your letters as many times as possible. So that means you want to make your letters big. You want to make them so that they're overlapping at least the 2 letters next to them. So I'm going to start with my C. Now I start with my tag, and maybe I make that C super big, because that way it allows that C to get overlapped multiple times, and it kind of ties it all together. So then I make it into my throw. So I echo, I erase, so it becomes one two-dimensional shape. Maybe I make this here a little thicker where they overlap. And then I gotta fix up here where they overlap and make them into that shape. And erase here. So you should be doing this worksheet in pencil so that you can erase, especially with this overlapping section. Even if you weren't working in pencil before, you absolutely have to be working in pencil here. Because when you go to overlap, now I can just draw that H right on top. But not very interesting. And right now it doesn't look like it's overlapping because you can see both things. What happens when you overlap things is when you have one object and you put another object over it, the object that's over it covers up the thing that's underneath. You don't see the edges on that bottom one anymore. So right now my objects are see-through, and I'm going to bring that a little closer. See how my H is see-through? So what I have to do is decide which one's on top. And that's where this kind of fun comes in. So I can choose to say, okay, this part of the H here is going to go underneath my C. So that means my C comes forward and my H erases. And then I can say, well, this part I want over my C. So I can erase the C and make the H come over. And I'm going to zoom in that a little bit more so you can see. So see how that H goes underneath and on top. So then when I do my E, do I have to do my E right here? No, I could do it kind of coming up here. I could make my E kind of curl up here so that it's filling up a little bit more space. It's still overlapping here, and I'm going to make my H go over it so my E goes under. So it's still overlapping here, but it's also giving this E some space over here, so when I go to make my S, it gives me more things to overlap. So if I take that S and I draw it as a throw, now I got to decide where, well, let's see, maybe this part of the E goes under the S, and this part of the E goes over the S. And maybe this part of the S, let's put the S over the C overall. So I'm going to redraw that S, and the C is going to disappear underneath it. Okay, so let's zoom in. See how it's kind of overlapping and underlapping. Oop, I missed a line there. There we go. So I'm going to take my whole chest doom and write it all the way across here. That is box 1.